बुद्ध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ सत्य साईश कर्तव्यं दैवमाह्निकम् उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ पत्तीश उत्तिष्ठ जगतीपते उत्तिष्ठ करुणापूर्ण लोकमङ्गलसिद्धये चित्रावती तटविशाल सुशान्त सौधे तिष्ठन्ति सेवकजनास्तव दर्शनार्थम् आदित्यकान्तिरनुभाति समस्तलोकान् श्री सत्य साई भगवन् तव सुप्रभातम् त्वन्नामकीर्तनरतास्तव दिव्यनामा गायन्ति भक्तिरसपान प्रहृष्टचित्ताः दातुं कृपासहितदर्शनम् आश्रितेभ्यः श्री सत्य साई भगवन् तव सुप्रभातम् आदाय दिव्यकुसुमानि मनोहराणि श्रीपादपूजनविधिं भवदङ्घ्रिमूले कर्तुं महोत्सुकतया प्रविशन्ति भक्ताः श्री सत्य साई भगवन् तव सुप्रभातम् देशान्तरागत बुधास्तव दिव्यमूर्तिम् Sathya Sai Bhagavan Tava Suprabhatam Shrutva Tava Bhuta Charitram Akhanda Kirtim Vyaptam Digantara Vishala Dharatalismin Jignasu Loka Upatisthati Chashramesmin Shri Sathya Sai Bhagavan Tava Suprabhatam Sita Sati Samavishuddha Hridambujata Bahvangana Karagrahita Supushpahara Stunvanti Divyanutibhi Phanibhushanam Tvam Shri Sathya Sai Bhagavan Tava Suprabhatam Suprabhatam Idam Punyam Ye Pathanti Dine Dine Te Vishanti Parandhama Jnana Vijnana Shobhita Mangalam Gurudevaya Mangalam Jnanadayine Mangalam Pattivasaya Mangalam Sathya Sai
Let us sit up straight for Jyoti meditation. Hands relaxed in the lap, with right palm on top of left palm, and thumbs lightly touching. Take a deep breath and breathe slowly and evenly. Now, close your eyes and visualize the flame of a lighted candle in front of you, and see how beautiful it is with its warm golden color. Bring the flame nearer and nearer to you, and feel it enter you through the center of your forehead, between your eyebrows. Let the flame descend to your heart, and imagine your heart as a beautiful lotus flower pure and white. As the flame enters the heart, imagine the petals of the lotus open out one by one, bathing every single thought, feeling, and emotion in the light, and so removing darkness from them. Your heart is now filled with light, with love and peace. Then think, I am full of love, and I am pure. Imagine the light in your heart growing wider, bigger, brighter, and radiating its rays down your arms all the way to your hands, filling both hands with light. Your hands are now filled with light and have become the instruments of light and love. Then think, let me do good things and serve all. Now, visualize the light in your heart spreading down the body, slowly along the legs to the feet, and filling both feet with light. Your feet are now filled with light. And think, let me walk only to good places where there is love and peace. And let me meet only with good people. Let the light spread from the heart up to your throat and surround the tongue and the mouth with light. Your mouth and tongue are now filled with light. Now think, let me speak softly and always tell the truth and say only what is necessary and useful. Slowly, the light extends upward to the ears and fills both ears with light. Now think, let me hear only good things. Now, extend the light and let it spread to the eyes, filling both eyes with light. Again, concentrate on the light and think, let me see good in all things. Now, visualize the light entering your forehead and filling the head with light, purifying the mind. Your head is now filled with light. Now think, wherever there is light, darkness cannot be present, and I will only have good thoughts. Imagine the light in you glowing more and more intensely. Let the light shine all around you. Now, visualize the divine form of Sri Sathya Sai Baba and offer this light at his lotus feet. Now, extend this light and surround your loved ones, other members of your family, friends, and especially those who are unkind to you or who you perceive to be unkind to you. May they all be filled with light, with love, filled with peace. Let the light expand to the entire world so that all mankind, animals, and plants, and all living beings are filled with light. Let the whole universe be filled with light. Now imagine that there is only light and that you are the source of this light. The light is within you. You are one with the light.
Oh
हरिः ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आन शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इषवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः यात इषु शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः शिवा शरव्या यातवतया नो रुद्रमृडय या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुवासन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः यामिषुं गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्ष्यस्तवे शिवां गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि गुंसीः पुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छावदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असद् अध्यवोचदधिवक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहेगश्च सर्वान् जम्बयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रुता सहस्रशो वैशागुं हेडईमहे असौ यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उतैनं विश्वाभूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीढुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्त्नियोर्ज्यां याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वप अवतत्यथनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशतेषु धे निशीर्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो न सुमना भव विज्यं धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुम् उत अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः या ते हेतिर्मीढुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुज नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशाञ्च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय पिशीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्लुषाय विव्याधिनेन्नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय तताविने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नमः उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय निर्व्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे स्तेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिण इषुधिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्तायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमो सिमद्भ्यो नक्तञ्चरद्भ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नमः उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नमः इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्योऽश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमः आव्याधिनेभ्यो विविध्यन्तीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः उगणाभ्यस्तृगं हतीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपदिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपदिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथिभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः शत्रुभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपदिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो मीढुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहदे च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवे चाचिराय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय चावस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय चापरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय चापगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च पुत्न्याय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय चावसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नमः शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूधिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय चाहनन्याय च नमो कृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषुधिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णे शवे चायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूत्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कूप्याय च वट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः ईद्रियाय च तप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेष्म्याय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च ॐ हर 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 ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय चारुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयोभवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमः स्तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आतार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च भेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नमः इरिण्याय च प्रपत्याय च नमः किगुंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ठ्याय च गृह्याय च नमस्तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदयाय च निवेष्ट्याय च नमः पागं सव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्क्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्व्याय च सूर्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमोपकुरमाणाय चाविघ्नते च नमः आखिदते च प्रखिदते च नमो वह्किरिकेभ्यो देवानागं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नम आनिर्हतेभ्यो नम आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पते दरिद्रन्नीललोहित येषां पुरुषाणाम् येषां पशूनां माभेर्मा रोमो येषां किञ्चनाममत् या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूः शिवा विश्वाह भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी तया नो मृडजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्दिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिं यथा नः शमसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रोतनो मयस्कृति क्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छं च योश्च मनुराय चे पिता ततः श्याम तव रुद्रप्रणीतो मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितं मानो वधीः पितरं मोत मातरं प्रियामानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तोके तनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीरिषः वीरान् मानो रुद्रभामितो वधेर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आराते कोघ्न उत पूरुषग्ने क्षयद्वीराय सुम्नमस्मे ते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यथा च नः शर्म यच्छद्विबर्हाः स्तुहि श्रुतं गर्तसदंयुवानं मृगन्न भीममुपहत्नुमुग्रम् मृडाचरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्वृणत्तु परित्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरामघवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमीढ्वस्तूकायतनयाय मृडय मीढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्तिं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि विकिरितविलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगुं हेतयोन्यमस्मन्निवबन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्यां तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवाश्चितिकण्ठाः शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवाश्चितिकण्ठादिवगुं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासः कपर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथां पथि रक्षय ऐलभृदायव्युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति सृकावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रावितस्थिरे तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां येऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं वातो वर्षमिषमस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु तेयं द्विष्मो यश्च नो द्वेष्टितं भोजम्भे दधामि त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षेयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सुय ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु तमुष्टु हि यस्विषु सुधन्वायो विश्वस्य क्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वा महेशौ मनसाय रुद्रं नमोभिर्देवमधुरन्दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजोयगं शिवाभिमर्शनः ये ते सहस्रमयुतं पाशा मृत्यो मर्त्याय हन्तवे तान् यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वानवयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि प्राणानां ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो मा विशान्तकः तेनान्नेनाप्यायस्व नमो रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि ॐ शान्तिः 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 शञ्च मे मयश्च मे प्रियं च मेऽनुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सौमनसश्च मे भद्रं च मे श्रेयश्च मे वस्यश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे द्रविणं च मे यन्ता च मे धर्ता च मे क्षेमश्च मे धृतिश्च मे विश्वं च मे महश्च मे संविच्च मे ज्ञात्रं च मे सूश्च मे प्रसूश्च मे सीरं च मे लयश्च मरुतं च मे मृतं च मे यक्ष्मं च मे नामयच्च मे जीवातुश्च मे दीर्घायुत्वं च मे नमित्रं च मे भयं च मे सुखं च मे शयनं च मे सूषा च मे सुदिनं च मे ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ तच्छयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपात् स भूमिं विश्वतो वृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठद्दशाङ्गुलं पुरुष एवेदगं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यम् उतामृतत्वस्येशानः यदन्नेनातिरोहति एतावानस्य महिमा अतो ज्यायागश्च पूरुषः पादोऽस्य विश्वाभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादूर्ध्व उदैत्पुरुषः पादोऽस्येहा भवात् पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यक्रामत् शासनानशने अभि तस्मात् विराडजायत विराजो अधिपूरुषः स जातो अत्यरिच्यत पश्चाद्भूमिमथो पुरः यत्पुरुषेण हविषा देवा यज्ञमतन्वत वसन्तो अस्यासीदाज्यम् ग्रीष्म इद्मः शरद्दविः सप्तास्यासन् परिधयः त्रिस्सप्तसमिधः कृताः देवा यद्यज्ञं तन्वानाः अबध्नन् पुरुषं पशुं तं यज्ञं बर्हिषि प्रोक्षन् पुरुषं जातमग्रतः तेन देवा अयजन्त साध्यार्षयश्च ये तस्माद्यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः संहृदं पृषदाज्यं पशुगस्तागश्चक्रे वायव्यान् आरण्यान् ग्राम्याश्च ये तस्माद्यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः ऋचः सामानि जज्ञिरे छन्दागुंसि जज्ञिरे तस्मात् यजुस्तस्मादजायत तस्मादश्वा अजायन्त एके चोभयादतः गावोह जज्ञिरे तस्मात् तस्माज्जाता अजावयः यत्पुरुषं यददुः कतिधाप्यकल्पयन् मुखं किमस्य कौ बाहु कावूरुपादावुच्येते ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यः कृतः ऊरु तदस्य यद्वैश्यः पद्भ्यागुं शूद्रो अजायत चन्द्रमा मनसो जातः चक्षो सूर्यो अजायत मुखादिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च प्राणाद्वायुरजायत नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षं शीर्ष्णोद्यौ समवर्तत पद्भ्यां भूमिर्दिशः श्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागुम् अकल्पयन् वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसस्तु पारे सर्वाणि रूपाणि विचित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वाभिवदन् यदास्ते धाता पुरस्ताद्यमुदा जहार शक्रः प्रविद्वान् प्रदिशश्च तस्रः तमेवं विद्वानमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था अयनाय विद्यते यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजन्त देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् ते हनाकं महिमानः सचन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साध्या सन्ति देवाः अद्यः सम्भूतः पृथिव्यैरसाच्च विश्वकर्मणः समवर्तताधि तस्य त्वष्टा विदधद्रूपमेति तत्पुरुषस्य विश्वमाजानमग्रे वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमेवं विद्वानमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते यनाय प्रजापतिश्चरति गर्भे अन्तः अजायमानो बहुधा विजायते तस्य धीराः परिजानन्ति योनिं मरीचीनां पदमिच्छन्ति वेधसः यो देवेभ्य आतपति यो देवानां पुरोहितः पूर्वो यो देवेभ्यो जातः नमो रुचाय ब्राह्मये रुचं ब्राह्मं जनयन्तः देवा अग्रे तदब्रुवन् यस्त्वैवं ब्राह्मणो विद्यात् तस्य देवा असन्वशे ह्रीश्च ते लक्ष्मीश्च पत्न्यो अहोरात्रे पार्श्वे नक्षत्राणि रूपम् अश्विनौ व्यात्तम् इष्टम् अनिषाण अमुम् अनिषाण सर्वम् अनिषाण ॐ तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ द्यौ शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिपृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधय शान्तिः वनस्पतय शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ शान्तिः 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 स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः
मकुटलोलकुन्तलं सुकुमारशरीरिणं मकुटलोलकुन्तलं प्रसन्नसुन्दरं भासं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् प्रसन्नसुन्दरं भासं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् अगणितगुणानन्दम् आश्रितजनपोषकम् अगणितगुणानन्दम् आश्रितजनपोषकम् अपारकरुणाकारं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् अपारकरुणाकारं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् नमो नमो परात्परा सनातना नमोस्तुते नमो नमो श्रीवरदा श्रीचरणा नमोस्तुते नमो नमो देव देव साई देव नमोस्तुते मुनिचित्तविराजितं विरिञ्चि विष्णुनायकं मुनिचित्तविराजितं विरिञ्चि विष्णुनायकं शिवगुरुगुहार्चितं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् शिवगुरुगुहार्चितं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् अमृतवर्षभाषितम् अभयहस्तदायकम् अमृतवर्षभाषितम् अभयहस्तदायकम् अरुणाम्बरधारिणं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् अरुणाम्बरधारिणं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् नमो नमो परात्परा सनातना नमोस्तुते नमो नमो श्रीवरदा श्रीचरणा नमोस्तुते नमो नमो देव देव साई देव नमोस्तुते नटननादरञ्जनं नलिनकान्तिचालनं नटननादरञ्जनं नलिनकान्तिचालनं निगमागमपाण्डित्यं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् निगमागमपाण्डित्यं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् प्रलयसृष्टिकारकं प्रभाकरप्रकाशकं प्रलयसृष्टिकारकं प्रभाकरप्रकाशकं प्रपञ्चसत्यबोधकं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् प्रपञ्चसत्यबोधकं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् नमो नमो परात्परा सनातना नमोस्तुते नमो नमो श्रीवरदा श्रीचरणा नमोस्तुते नमो नमो देव देव साई देव नमोस्तुते शरणागतवत्सलं वृन्नयननिवासिनं शरणागतवत्सलं वृन्नयननिवासिनं प्रफुल्लकमलाकान्तिं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् प्रफुल्लकमलाकान्तिं सद्गुरुं नमाम्यहम् श्रवणं अतिसुन्दरं स्मरणं अतिमोहनं श्रवणं अतिसुन्दरं स्मरणं अतिमोहनं वन्दनं च महापुण्यं प्राप्तुमपि महायोगं वन्दनं च महापुण्यं प्राप्तुमपि महायोगम् नमो नमो परात्परा सनातना नमोस्तुते नमो नमो श्रीवरदा श्रीचरणा नमोस्तुते नमो नमो देव देव साई देव 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 नमोस्तुते
Om Shri Sai Ram. Humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Swami has declared on many occasions, my students are my property. He has said, our students are like diamonds. They are obedient to elders, courteous towards relatives, creative in their thinking, and are ideal role models. On this Guru Poornima day, reflecting on the first teaching of Swami, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam, Dustara Bhavasagara Taranam, where Swami said, meditate in thy mind on the feet of the Guru. This can take you across the difficult sea of existence in birth after birth. Following the footsteps of the Sadguru, reflecting the journey from the days of a student at his lotus feet to holding on to him as the indweller of their hearts, presenting to you Guru Vandana, a group discussion by his diamonds, the alumni of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning based in Singapore. Let me take the honor of introducing our panelists for today. Brother C.V.K. Shastri studied all the way from his higher secondary school to his master's in physics between 1982 and 1989. Post-student days, he was instrumental in being associated as the head teacher of the Sathya Sai School, Kisaju, Kenya. Sai Ram to you, brother, and so happy to have you with us today. Brother Pavan Kumar did his higher secondary schooling at Puttaparthi and subsequently his Bachelor of Commerce at Vrindavan between 1992 and 1997. He has been blessed to be part of the Kodai trips, and we are absolutely privileged to have you also joining in, brother, today. Sai Ram to you.
Sai Ram.
We now have brother K.S. Vivekanand, who did his BSc Physics in the period 1994 and 97 in the same batch as brother Pavan. And brother Vivek was blessed to take several wonderful pictures of the divine form during his student days. Sai Ram to you, brother Vivek.
Sai Ram to one and all.
We now move on to someone who has witnessed 12 convocations, been part of it 4 times. Brother Jagdish Chandra was a student who did his bachelor's, master's in philosophy, and his PhD between 2000 and 2010. And he was blessed to be part of Swami's entourage to the Kodaikanal trip, to the Chennai trip, and also to the subsequent Delhi and Shimla trips. He has given various talks, scripted and acted in various plays in the divine presence. Blessed to have you together with us today, brother. Sai Ram.
Brother, pleasure.
The youngest in the block in terms of the range of alumni today, brother Shiv Kishan did his MTech from Prashanti Nilayam between 2007 and 2009 and was blessed to have wonderful interactions with Swami during that period. He is blessed to continue to be part of service and cultural offerings as an alumni. Welcome, brother, and Sai Ram.
Brother, Sai Ram.
It's so wonderful to have all of you with us today. And let me begin by asking this question to all of you. Yesterday, I read about this opening of Swami's college at Anantapur, where it said, this is the mark of the beginning of a modern day Gurukulam. So if I may have Brother Pavan, could you start off by trying to speak on how your journey as a student was something of going through a modern Gurukulam?
Sure. Sai Ram, brother. Sai Ram, all. Let me first offer my humble pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet on this occasion of Holy Guru Poornima Day. I humbly submit myself at Swami's lotus feet who has given us this wonderful opportunity to have a divine satsang and remember him. Yeah. So the way we all think the hostel, or the way Swami's institutions have been set up, if you slightly take it towards the ancient days of where the Gurukula system used to be there, if you observe, whether it is in Treta Yuga or Dwapar Yuga, the kings or the royal families, they all used to have a guru. And the subjects or the princess or prince, they all used to go to a Gurukula Patashala, where it is away from their comfort zones of their palace and richly food, clothes and everything. They used to go to the hermitage of the Guru, sit there at the lotus feet and serve the Guru, serve the Gurukula, the surroundings of Gurukula, cultivate their own vegetables and partake those vegetables and do Padasevanam and Vandanam to the Guru and then get their education. So that's how they used to get educated with all the philosophies, all the Vedas and everything. So those are the days which we all read the scriptures and we all thought, oh, how are those chosen ones who have been to the feet of Guru to learn something higher education. Now, if you observe, in the same Gurukula, used to have the princess and the prince coming over, and as well as from a pauper or from any other servant students. So the Gurukula Patashala had a common platform where everybody used to be at the lotus feet of the Guru and follow the hostel rules and then get their education. That was the Gurukula Patashala. If you compare it to Swami's hostel and Swami's Gurukula system, how he has done it. If you see, you take example of Prashant Nilayam, surrounded by the mountains. Puttaparthi is a village, remote village, very peace and calm. And you can see our hostel and college is surrounded by the nature, very beautiful and very peaceful and serene. And what we all do, we all come there. I myself, being a middle class family, I had come. I have seen my own classmates who are rich enough to come from USA. I've seen at least people coming from various, parts of the country, very well off. So it stuck to me that what is Swami trying to teach us here? All the people who have come from different backgrounds, different religions, doesn't matter. When it comes to Prashant Nilayam, when it comes to Vrindavan, we all at the same common platform. First thing Swami made us common across all the hostel inmates. Then what we used to eat, what we used to perform, the daily duties, it's common for everybody. There are no exceptions. I'm sure, I'm reminded of few students who have been very rich in their country, like USA. I had one of my friends, he come from very rich family. He also used to sleep on the floor and he also did not have a ceiling fan. We never had a fans. That means the students are supposed to have a very, very simple life, but learn something which is higher. Swami never stopped us only from learning from the normal subjects, but also Swami used to teach us Atma Vidya. This is what the Gurukul system, no other education system in this world has something called a spiritual subject or Atma Vidya. This is the major foundation what I found that Swami has given us, that the system of Gurukula system where we also do our part of doing a service inside the hostel. And if you see a 600 boys hostel where it is self-sufficiently run by the inmates of the hostel, that means we used to cut our own garden grass. We used to go for rolling chapatis. We used to go for altar decorations. We used to have crafts. We used to have maintenance. We used to have everything. So that means the self-skill development is also being given in Swami's hostel. So this is the foundations for your confidence also, as well as higher learning. Why did Swami put it as higher learning? Why did Swami not put Sathya Sai Institute of University or something like that? Swami put higher in the middle. So higher learning for me is something called a spiritual or Atma Vidya which Swami has taught us. So if you compare those times and the Swami's way he has established, the Swami has made us realize that the Gurukula Pathashala in modern times is also possible if you are able to follow the rules and governing principles which is designed by Swami by himself, getting up morning at 5 o'clock, having Suprabhatam, and then having breakfast, having jogging, going for, exercises, going for prayer sessions, and of course, sitting at Swami's lotus feet in the evening for having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Varanda sessions, and as well as many, many, many divine discourses. So with this, I think the Gurukula Pathasala system is completely embedded into Swami's institutions, and we are very blessed that Swami has chosen us to be part of that Gurukula system. So this is what I could, summarize.
Blissful, brother. It was almost as if we were in Prashantinilayam with the way you were describing it. And there's nothing like reliving those olden days. But then, if we were to go beyond just the Gurukula system, I thought the life of a student revolves around him. If we look at him as an acronym, or do we look at him as Swami alone? Can I have Brother Vivek to perhaps share a few thoughts on these?
With love and gratitude, I offer my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Mother Sai. And loving Sai Rams to one and all on this auspicious occasion of Guru Poornima. Well, as Brother Pawan had started off with the Gurukula system, he has also brought in what life is for a Sai student, because the life of a Sai student revolves around him. The him here refers to the hostel, the institute, and mandir, which were establishments that were set up by Swami for leading us on the pathway of work, worship, and wisdom. As Pawan had put it, we all came from a variety of background, as in people from different states in India or even from international levels. But what was common, or what was united in our, where we were united, was for the love that we had for Swami. And, when you compare it with other institutes or hostels, we never had anything called as ragging of any student, whether it's old or new. I mean, I'm trying to bring in comparisons of what a normal university and hostel life is to what it is, the ideal way of having a university or hostel. The hostel and college basically nourished our body and mind, while the presence of Swami and his love, and love is something that cannot be defined by these 4 letters. His love and his words of wisdom nourished our soul. So, in terms of hostel life, we had our, in the corporate level, we talk about time management. Our time management lessons started with the hostel. We had to finish some things at a particular point in time, and we had 300 to 400 students sharing a lot of facilities which were common. So time management, time is of essence, and that started with our hostel. And it continued on the university part of it as well. And it also, if you look at it in a different way, we had our baby steps with regards to the essence of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where the entire world is our family. And we had a practical setup in the form of the hostel and institute to look and to learn these fundamentals of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So the essence of it is the hostel, the institute, and the mandir, they formed the triangle of our lives. And whatever any of us did as a group was not for a pat on our backs, but it was for something larger than the little I and mine. So it was done for the love that all of us had for Swami. So to me, this is the essence of the entire concept of him, which is to lead all of us to him.
So I'll just take if I'm allowed to, I'll just take a cue.
Please, brother.
Because these are bringing up a string of memories as we discuss along these lines. In the Bhagavad Gita, one of the essence of the essence of spiritual practice and discipline is given by Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, leading to Sakshatkaram. So in a way, that the triangle that Brother Vivek very beautifully described, hostel, institute, and mandir, is in a way having Swami at its center. No matter what activity we did, it was Swami at the center of it, and the most important part was Shravanam and Mananam are to some extent theoretical in nature, unless and until it is put to proper fruition through Nididhyasanam, that is implementation or practicals. It's literally useless. And it takes me back to one fine day when we ran back to the mandir from Institute, and Swami was waiting at the veranda. And the first thing he asked us was, "What class did you have just now?" And then we all said, "Swami, chemistry." And then Swami asked, "Theory or practical?" And then we said, "Swami, theory." And then Swami's face shrunk. He said, "Theory, theory, theory. When will you do practical?" And then Swami said, "My lessons are always practical. And without practical, all these theoretical lessons are useless." So to put it in one shell, it's basically he was the person imparting the knowledge, and the institute, the hostel, acted as laboratories wherein those teachings were to be implemented by us after Shravanam Mananam. So the Nididhyasanam part was taken care of by that. So I thought I'll just add these 2 cents there.
Yeah, it reminds me of something that I've read in one of the student blogs. The hostel was a home where each lives for the other and all live for God. I mean, brilliant. It kind of tells us the essence of life itself, right? I mean, it's not just life in hostel. We live for Swami, and we live together for Swami. Absolutely wonderful learnings over there. I guess all of you have seen Swami in such close quarters that you probably would have felt him like just another mortal guru. But then there are those glimpses where the divinity comes in and sets about the process of instilling faith. If we may move to what I would call, or what many of you call, veranda experiences, the instiller of faith. Could I have Brother Shastri perhaps sharing some wonderful thoughts on veranda experiences and the process of how it instilled faith in each one of you?
Sai Ram brothers and Sai Ram for the opportunity. Pranams at the Swami's lotus feet. I think I belong to that era of students' life where it was 1980s. The number of students in the veranda used to be barely filling the entire veranda itself. So that was the strength of the students at that time. And complete higher secondary school, college, the entire primary children, unless they come on Sundays, that they used to sit on the other side of the veranda. So literally Swami was amidst us every single darshan, be it in the morning or in the evening. So we used to go for darshan, and Swami used to come close to us and speak, look at each one of us very intently into our eyes, and used to tell us, "This is the time, take Pad Namaskar," almost invariably every other day, and used to say that it's an opportunity that you're getting, don't lose it, and you may not get it again. So he used to give us and also caution us. So one of those things that I think brother said, it reminds me of proper students are his property, which I think invariably he used to say that students are my property. Also used to say, what is property? Property is having proper ties. So I feel in today's context, having proper tie with Swami, what Swami is, what he has given us, and what he has expected of us, and each student to stand for it, I think probably stands very relevant to us today. Coming back to the veranda experiences, I think at that time, we used to just run around, and anytime opportunity, Swami used to just stand there and wave his hand all the time, stand alone. So we used to flock around with small photographs, go for autograph of Swami. Lovingly used to take those pictures and sign invariably almost every single photograph. But he also used to say, "Why you are wasting so much money on these pictures?" Very lovingly used to look at each one of us and say, "Do not waste money." Always he repeated, "Do not waste money, do not waste time, do not waste energy." So in that context, so do not waste money. Then he always said, it's very easy. You have a picture today, you keep it this way. If you don't like it, you will turn it. But you keep it here in your heart, it can never be, ever be removed. And I will connect that to what Swami used to tell us invariably every single discourse in terms of the devotion of Gopikas. I think whether it's a hostel discourse very closely with all the students or in a public discourse, when it comes to devotion, it's placed for only one form, one name. So he lovingly always used to even talk to us very closely as a friend, come amidst us, with the university marks or results are being declared. He used to come around and ask us, oh, what's your name? And he used to declare the result before officially the result was declared by the university. So that much of love that he had showered on us. So that love, I think, as brothers earlier also said, that the life for us, whether we are from a background of devotees or non-devotees, whatever middle class or higher class, whatever it is, the entire life always revolved around him because he was the magnet for us. So the Varanda experiences, you always used to talk about, look at a child and say, fish is better than selfish. They're still ringing in my ears. Quite often he used to say that fish is better. For a small incident that would happen, you would just pick up somebody and you just tell him, but rest all can hear the message that fish is better than selfish. So this, and similarly, suppose, for example, coming to administration part of it, Swami always wanted quality food to be served in the hostel. He would just call the warden and he would say, what is the breakfast today? So he would say idli, sambar, whatever. But same sambar smell. It's the same smell. What different are you giving to the children? So he would, right in front of us, he would take him to task. So similarly, Swami's love for children, and in fact, while giving apples and mangoes and even a joy ice cream used to be given at that time to us. So Swami, after giving each child himself the mango or the apple, used to confirm from each one whether you have got it or not. So that's a love, that's a concern, that that's love that he used to shower, and that I think lifetimes, what do you call, the punya, what Swami used to say, that you're not here just because of your own karmas in this lifetime, but it is of your, not only your past karmas, but your grandfathers and great grandfathers. He always used to remind us about those.
One small experience I want to narrate here, since he has brought the love of kind of food. My personal experience, I'll just keep it very short, 1 minute. Sunday morning breakfast in Parthi hostel used to be schoolboys and hostel boys, when both of them together in the same hostel, we used to have bread and white upma. And morning 6 o'clock is supposed to finish and be at Mandir at 6:30 for morning darshan. Bread and white upma I used to hate. So I went to Mandir just drinking coffee, and Swami came to Varanda, and Swami asked everybody, what is the breakfast? So everybody said, Swami, bread, upma, it was a dragging faces. And Swami asked, did you have? I kept quiet. So interview was about to start, 8 o'clock interview is supposed to start. Swami went inside interview room. Swami came out of interview room. Swami just did like this. So then I ran inside. Means I was in the door. Means my head was inside the interview room door, but my body was still outside. My back was still, boys can see. And Swami was inside interview room door, and Swami put 100 rupee note inside my pocket. Swami said, go and have breakfast, I will come in canteen. And you see Swami's love, like it was very, very much, experienced motherly love. And myself and one more friend, both of us ran to canteen, and I was in the counter. I was reluctant to give the 100 rupee note to the person where Swami gave, but no choice. And if I don't have, Swami will ask me, what did you have? No money. And I did not tell him, sir, this is Swami gave money, and I gave that 100 rupee note. And then he gave it. Just imagine 100 rupee is a big thing, for a Parthi canteen. The 3 rupees tiffin token, 3 rupees or 2 rupees. I'm talking about 92, 94. So then we bought some 20 rupees, and myself and my friend went into the South Indian canteen, and trust me, what was the breakfast? It was upma. And we asked, is there anything else? They said, no, sir, only upma is left. So I went inside. I took two, three, spoons of upma. I had upma. Just came back because before Swami's interview finishes, I came back. And Anil Kumar sir was there. And he asked, how come you guys are here? You're supposed to be in Mandir. Then he understood. I said, I think Swami might have sent you guys. Then we said, okay, yes, sir. Then we went. Then Swami came after interview, came to the veranda. Swami looked at me and said, how was the breakfast? I said, Swami, I had it. He said, whatever I give you in hostel is good for you. Have it. And that was a beautiful experience. Swami, showing to his children. Sorry, Sai Ram, yeah.
I think whenever we experience love, faith automatically gets ingrained in us, right? Vivek, do you have anything that you would like to share on your tryst with having him through your lens?
See, when Shastri sir spoke about veranda experiences and then the joy ice cream, we were also reminded about the joy ice cream and the Anand sweets that we used to get after each and every tri session. And believe me, tri sessions during 94 to 97, thanks to Mr. Kulwant Rai with the Kulwant Hall coming, we were blessed to have Swami all for ourselves in Vrindavan. 94 is a year that cannot be forgotten by any of the people who were there in Vrindavan because we had Swami for ourselves. And Swami went to Parthi just for Ganesh Chaturthi. In fact, we are on the day of Guru Poornima, and in that sense, we had our Guru Poornima. That was the first interaction that I had. But I'll talk about that later. But coming back to veranda experiences, I'm reminded of something that happened during the 70th birthday celebrations. It was bhajan time and Swami was sitting in the veranda in his chair. And I had the opportunity to take some photos during bhajans, as I had not had the opportunity to take photos during bhajans. But, bhajans got over, Aarti was given to Swami and he came. He was going back to Purnachandra. He used to stay in the Purnachandra auditorium at that time. And he came straight in front of me and gave me a very stern look. That stern look is something that I will never forget in my life. And it even now it sends shivers down my spine. And he called Warden Sir. So the moment Warden Sir is called, the shivers become a little more in terms of magnitude. So I knew I was in for some trouble, but I didn't realize what it was. And Swami asked Warden as to, how many student photographers are there? Being 70th birthday, Swami was in a giving mode. When I say giving, we had shirt materials, pant materials, watches, writing pads, name it. And Swami used to give and give and give. And the bonus of all this was not all these material things, but we had Pada Namaskar each time Swami personally gave these. So the warden thought that Swami was planning to give something to these student photographers. So he said, Swami, I'll count as to how many student photographers are there and I'll get back to you. And Swami said, I don't want any list. Take all their cameras away. I don't want them to take photos. And the warden went off and Swami started going back to Purnachandra. Now I became the star attraction for the wrong stuff, which I'm very famous for such things. So I had fellow students looking at me and said, you are really done for now and you are not supposed to take photos during bhajans. No, this is something that I did not know. And the moment that was said, I started thinking within my mind, Swami, yes, I might have done a mistake, but it is done inadvertently. But if at all anybody has to be punished, it has to be me. Why should the other students who take photographs, be punished for this? I apologize profusely. Please don't punish them for a mistake of mine. That thought, the moment that thought came in, Swami started retracing his steps and he started coming back. And again, he stood in front of me, called the warden. Look at Swami's change, from, very stern looks. He started giving a cheeky smile. And then he told the warden, no need to take off all these cameras. I think I want to give them some film rolls. I'll distribute it to you later, and sent off the warden. Now, in this passing by, as Pawan was showing his index finger, I remember Swami showing the index finger and silently telling me, don't take photos. So you see, the essence of the experience is to show that, there is this strict disciplinarian as a father if you make a mistake. But the moment you realize what that mistake is, then the stern father becomes a loving mother, and he wants to pacify you, saying that it's good that you realize the mistake. And then comes the guru component in telling you what you should do as a student in terms of when bhajans are going on. You have a lot of public who are looking at you. And the last thing that you want to do is to be taking photos of Swami and not listening to the bhajans. The whole idea of bhajans is to bring that one-pointedness at some point in time and leave the wavering mind and go towards a contemplation of God. And the last thing that you want to do is to take photos. So the veranda experience in a lighter mode actually gave me those three aspects of Swami as a father, mother, and a guru. And only he can do these three roles in that subtle manner at which he handled the whole situation for me. These are things that, we cherish throughout our lives as to how, these veranda experiences were there for all of us in different years and different backgrounds.
Wonderful. I guess faith gets instilled by these experiences, and it's unshakable faith, that I think is the core of the student days. But then Swami often says, my life is my message. I thought he set an example by everything that he did. If I may have someone talking on this aspect of Swami, of teaching you through my life being my message, could I have one of you share a few thoughts on that? Brother Jagdish, perhaps?
Sure. I'll take this in front. I was just about to tell you that, once a devotee asked a question of Swami. He asked Swami, when you look at us, what do you see? What is it that you see when you look at us? And Swami's reply was, I see myself. I see the same love that I am made up of. And many a times we have heard Swami quoting the famous Tyagaraja Kirtana, Chimalo Brahmalo Shivakesavadularo, which is the same divine cosmic principle that runs through the ant and through the Brahman. And when Swami looked at us, he looked at that one thing. He identified us with himself. And probably that is the reason why of everything that he spoke, he was the number one devotee. The way he would implement or follow his own words, I think there's no one who could follow him. And there was nobody a better devotee of Swami than he himself. The way he followed every dicta, lived every dicta. A small experience. It was in 2007, Kodaikanal, and at that point in time, Swami gave us, Brother Pawan just mentioned the way Swami put money in his pocket. Swami gave each one of us some money, put in our pockets, and asked us to go and shop. But the details are so many that will take a lot of time. But I'll just come to that particular episode. After purchasing things for ourselves, we all got together and thought, okay, let us buy something for Swami. And that is when we bought a fruit basket. So a basket containing different fruits. And in that, if you can see, the photograph is being shared, there's these grapes. These grapes, what were there as a part of this fruit basket, had seeds in them, and we didn't know that. And when we offered this to Swami, Swami said, "Yo, why did you spend for me? It was for you all." But just to keep our heart, he just plucked that one grape and he showed us. He says, "I don't like grapes really, but since you all got it, I'll have it." And he put it in his mouth. But as he started chewing it, we realized that there was a seed. The seed was still there, and we were like all looking at each other, not knowing what to do. How would Swami get rid of that seed? And at that point in time, a few of us who were sitting around Swami, we cupped our hands close to him, said, "Swami, spirit in our hands." And Swami kept pushing our hands away and just brushing our hands away. He wouldn't allow us. See, for us, it's an opportunity possibly for the sages and seers to just get this thing. And here Swami was not allowing us at all. And at one point, when too many hands rose and Swami was seeing that, okay, these boys are not going to learn it, he just swallowed it. And he said, "I will not make you do, any one of you do this. No, I see myself in you all, and that's why I swallowed the seed. Can there be a better example of an individual dignity? The Jiva and the Brahma that we talk about, can there be a better example than this, than what Swami set for us? And that was a huge lesson. The way he looked at us, he saw himself in us. That Guru principle that we are talking about is so beautifully demonstrated by Bhagavan through each and every activity, throughout every interaction that he had with us. So this is what I wanted to share, with a small experience.
Wonderful, wonderful. He has his own unique way of sharing those important lessons that stay very deep in each of us. As a young student, I'm sure, despite the fact that you see the divine ability of Swami, the fact that he moves with you just as a friend probably brings about a thought that Swami is not just God, but to many of us, it starts as our superhero. If I were to look at Swami as a hero from that perspective, could I have perhaps Brother Shiva, you have not spoken, can you probably reflect on this aspect where you would look at Swami as my hero?
Sure, brother, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And firstly, I offer my most reverential and humble pranams to the indweller, the Supreme Guru, our own Mother Sai, and Sai Ram to one and all. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And Brother Venkat, maybe with your permission, I would take this question little differently, as perhaps Swami as our only hero. So,
why not?
Yeah. So there are several reasons to it. Suppose the way how I perceive it, like, think the president of nation comes to you and spends some time with us and interacts with us and goes back. So will our position changes after he leaves us? So will that make any difference in our lives? To my limited understanding, no. It is absolutely temporary. So, but Swami's connect is permanent. When it comes to Swami, he had come down as an avatar of the age, but yet he behaved as one among us. There are several instances where Swami laughed at the mundane jokes of the students or whoever is performing, and he enjoyed all the dramas, plays, presentations, and he made us succeeded in every effort, and he blissfully smiled at our success. He is the doer, but yet he made us feel we are the one who is doing it. So I still remember our first PG drama where Swami has, by his will, he brought forward the day to 3 days ahead of the schedule. So we were supposed to put up drama on 15th of Jan after culmination of the sports meet uh, as a Prashant Nilayam campus. And Swami brought back the drama to 3 days prior and made it to somewhere around 12th of Jan. By 11th sports meet, all activities, presentations on the Hillview Stadium gets closed, and then students will start relaxing and getting prepared for the drama sets. We all know how much effort it takes to present one drama. It includes like sets, costumes, makeup, acting, everything. But none was in shape, as the whole arrangement supposed to start from 11th night till 14th. But what Swami does is miraculous. Swami just asked Anil Kumar sir to announce that there is a drama which is going to be put up by Prashant Nilayam campus tomorrow, and the drama is going to be wonderful, and you will never see such drama again. So Swami wants all of you to be in Kulwanthal. So that's the hype that Swami has given through Anil Kumar sir, and that one night the whole cast, crew, and every one of the members associated with the drama were feeling like, what is happening, Swami? Why did you put us in this? That one night, Swami has proved that the whole hostel came together for preparations, irrespective of their tiring sessions that they had during practice, performance in sports meet. The whole hostel came together in quadrangle, and everyone started working towards one cause to put up the drama and make it to bring smile on Swami's face. So the whole drama has went on. Even the backdrops, everything was prepared overnight. Costumes, everything was prepared overnight. And the next day, Swami made the drama and taken to a different level by the way he has responded to the post-drama ceremony and the way he interacted with all of us. So he feels that he is one among us, and he attributes that success on us. So most of us would have seen the video of Swami in Trai, right? So where Swami laughing heartfully for the jokes, that there is a talking doll show where Swami laughing along with the students. In that video, Swami describes even how students come to Suprabhatam, falling on each other, and even by enacting. Why Swami has to do all that? This is all to bring and establish that connect with us. I am one among you. So the so-called man-made heroes that we usually people worship and tend to follow, they take pride in number of fans they have, and they also want to have the fan base intact and never want us to reach to their level because it is kind of a threat to their image. But I perceive Swami never heard, or Swami never felt that my students are different. So Swami, in fact, takes pride in transforming us and transforming us towards his reflections. So that he wants us to be same as him in our lives. So if we observe every facet of Swami's life teaches us something, how we should be, right from his childhood to avatar declaration, to the way he has transformed the spirituality as selfless service, and by following his message, and he wants us to elevate to a level where our message becomes his life. So our life becomes his message. Yeah.
Indeed.
So this is what I think beautifully Vivek brother and Jagdish brother has put up, the way how the ecosystem has been built in Parthi, and how the beautiful platform Swami has created. And Swami being mix of everything, he shows fatherly concern, motherly love, and the guidance as Guru. And whom else we could attribute the term as hero? He is the real hero for us. This is my humble thoughts on Swami being our hero.
Wonderful, brother. Wonderful. We are looking at the multiple facets of Swami. Now, I would like to go on to the Guru facet of Swami. Right? We've seen the faith developer. We have seen the hero, and now the real role, his role as our Sadguru. What is the relevance of a guru now? If we were to look in the current context, I would like Brother Jagdish to reflect on that. And then I would like to also reflect on this point. God came for man, worked for man, and taught him to realize God. Yeah. So I would like these two to be combined, and perhaps we can have Brother Jagdish, Brother Shiva, and Vivek reflecting on this in sequence. And we have to also manage our time. So just letting all of you know.
Absolutely. So I'll take this, the first part, Guru now and the relevance of Bhagwan's teachings in the current day. This takes me back, takes my memory back to that particular occasion when we were with Swami in Chennai in the year 2007 for the Atirudra Yagnam. We were having our dinner with Bhagwan, 10 of us. And I was...
Brother Jagdish, can you just move in forward? Your voice is just, yeah, that would be better.
Yeah. So we were, is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were having our dinner, and then I just went to wash my hands, and then Swami asked, who's going to speak the next day? And they said, Swami Jagdish is supposed to speak the next day. And then Swami told, call him. So I came running after washing my hands in Swami's presence, and I was seated right next to him on my haunches. Swami asked me, what is your topic? And can you guess what the topic was? The topic was Swami as Guru. And then Swami asked me, do you know what a Guru means? And you know, the wonderful parrots that we all are, we memorize things beautifully. And I said, Swami, what is written in the Vedas, what is declared in the Shastras? The word guru comprises of two syllables. Gu stands for gunatitaha, that which is beyond attributes, and ru stands for rupavarjitaha, that which is beyond form. The one who embodies these two principles, gunatita and rupavarjita, beyond attributes and beyond form, is the guru. And then Swami's next question, it sends chills down my spine. He asked me, did you ever find such a guru? And at that point in time, what answer would you give? And I folded my hands and said, Swami, you. And immediately Swami's reply was, Kani nakaite deham unde, but I have a body. You just now said Rupavarjita. How can you contradict your own dicta or your own statement? You said beyond form, without form. I have a form. And I didn't know. And that is when I behaved like a wonderful parrot. I said, Swami, with or without form, you are my guru. But I missed the clue that Swami was trying to give was at some point in time, you have to go to the guru within, who is without form, who is without attributes. And just to jog a little backwards in memory, how did Swami show this aspect? It was the year 2004, Vice Chancellor's Conference, and Swami gave this wonderful opportunity to four of us to give a talk in his presence. And as four of us gave the talk, and we were wanting to have a photograph with Swami, Swami came towards us and said, let's have a photograph. And he caught all four of us. And as he was having the photograph, it was so sweet, every gesture. The shutter bugs, as they call them, they clicked a battery of shots and they stopped. And then Swami said, once more, please. And he made a few more photos click. And when that happened, Swami turned towards us and he said, you all spoke very well. And he said, Swami, it's all your grace. And then Swami looked and said, I know. When you were standing under the lamppost of the music college trying to rehearse your talk, I was with you. When you were pacing up and down in front of the music college, rehearsing and thinking, which episode should I put in my talk so that Swami feels happy, I was with you. When you are stuck in a dilemma as to which episode you should choose, pick this one over the other or that one, I was there with you. Even now, I am with you. When we ask, Swami most often says, I'm above you, I'm below you, I'm around you. We all feel so happy. But the crux of the matter is, we think Swami is in the wind, in the mountains, in the brook and the butterfly. But we seldom forget, or most often we forget the last statement, I am in you. The surest presence or the surest proof of his presence is within us. And every small or big gesture that Swami made was towards that, to realize the presence of the Guru within. So these were the two things, and there's nothing better than understanding that principle and putting into practice today. Yes, brother.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Brother Shiva?
Yes, brother, right. I think Jagdish brother has beautifully put it, and he made almost the Swami who is ever pervasive, and he is witness and Sakshi Bhuta. I would like to have a few views on God came for man and work for man. I think that your sequence goes next to like that. So if we just think like that, there are numerous forms and numerous ways that avatars have come, and rather humanity has perceived avatars. Some form came from water, and someone came from mud, and some from the pillar, and some wearing weapons in hand and came with some specific purposes. There are several ways of offering pujas, and there are so many ways of praising the Lord when there is lot of mysteries mentioned in our Vedas, epics. And here Swami comes and simplifies everything and says, I am the personification of love. So he says there is no form for me. I'm love personified. So Swami, he created the form of love, which is himself. So he said, love is my form. So if we want to experience Swami, we need to develop that love. And the form is there, but the form should get some life. And just as the way idol in temples, we do installations and we call it prana pratishtha, installing life to the idol to be eligible to make it worshipable, right? So the truth is what Swami installed himself as the prana, and so he says, truth is my breath. So if we follow the path of truth, whenever life puts us in challenging situation, that means we are feeling Swami within. So how to keep the form alive is by providing some food, and Swami says, bliss is my food. And accepting everything that Swami gives us in life, accepting everything in life as his prasadam, is making Swami blissful, who is residing in our hearts. Once he got the form, life and food, everything, and he says, expansion is my life. And the form of life has no reason, no season, and which is transcendental, which has no birth and death. So, which is like, if we internalize Swami this way, then our thought, word, actions becomes oneness with him. This is what Swami explained several times. Even during our second PG in Divine Discourse, Swami mentioned this aspect of love is my form, the whole song, how we need to internalize Swami within us. Like, so today, if we look back, why Swami has not built temples all over the globe? So if he just wished so many temples would have come up by now, and with huge idols and processions everywhere. But Swami never wanted it. But rather he wanted all Sai centers to be around the globe. Today, when we realize the bigger crises that humanity ever faced are not due to pandemics like COVID, it's not due to any of the viruses or anything that we are experiencing right now, but it's due to the hatred that one has developed for other colors, religion, and regions. Swami has created a beautiful platform for people to congregate to do selfless service. So it is said that the most characteristic or state of the realized soul is to offer selfless service to society. It is like Swami has made us to do right from day one. In Samitis, organization centers we come in, the first thing we do is to come together and offer selfless service. And because that is what Swami has guided us. So if we just reflect on it, it is like Swami asking us to go and write exam, and already he has passed us in the journey of life. So Swami once said to one of our senior student who has proximity of close proximity of Swami, he said, if I wish, I can make you follow me like a dog. But that is not the reason I am here. I am here for all of you to realize that the undercurrent that is lying in you is me, and you need to make that choice. That's when you can realize me within. So that is what even we chant in Purush Suktam, Vedahametam, Purusham Mahantam, Adityavarnam Tamasah Parastat. So we know that great Purusha who shines like sun and beyond the darkness. So I feel that Swami has come for us, and Swami has worked like us and came and behaved as one among us, and yet made us to realize, or rather giving us a platform to realize what he was and what he is and how he is and how we need to experience him.
Sai Ram, I might have to probably move to the next one. Since we have already come towards the formless. All of you have had to leave Prashanti Nilayam at some point when you finished your graduation, and most of you were blessed to graduate when the physical form was still there with us. But if you look at today, there is this question for many who have not had the bliss that you have had of seeing him physically. What post-physical form? If I were to reflect on perhaps the lighthouse theory, Brother Pavan, that you were talking about the other day, could you probably go towards the lighthouse concepts that Swami has created?
Sure. I think Brother Seva Krishna has already given a kickstart for that topic. I just take audience to 1993, where we were in the interview room, 4 of us were there, and Swami created a beautiful what do you call a kind of a medallion where it has a India map, and there were kind of dots around that India map. So Swami said, "Do you know what is this?" So he said, "Swami, we don't know." He said, "Swami said, these are my centers, and not only in India, abroad." Okay. And Swami said, "These centers will glorify, they will take my glory to the every part, every nook and corner where Swami's devotees are doing, Swami's actions are being reproduced in various service communities and everything." So that time we did not understand much, because we were just looking at Swami in the interview room. Swami created a medallion, and Swami asked, "Who wants to be part of this?" That's a question Swami put. So 4 of us. So we were very cheeky in front of Swami, and Swami said, one of my friends said, "Swami, might be Pawan will do this." Then I said, "Okay, fine, Swami, this brother will do this." So there are 4 of us. Each of us took our own name in front of Swami, and Swami smiled. He said, "Okay, do you think I have not chosen the people already? I've already chosen people across the globe who has to do what." So for the mission, Swami has already chosen. And let's come to now from 1993 to April 24th, 2011, the darkest day we all experienced. And we are in the complete darkness. We don't know how to go, how to take up that kind of incident where Swami left his physical form. We were completely in dark, where to navigate, where should we go, and everything. So this thought occurred to me, like, wherever the darkness is there is always something called, if you go to the lighthouses, these lighthouses show the way to the people who are going here and there, in different directions. This lighthouse will call them back. Okay, they say, "Well, this is my nearest point where you can come and you can dock your ships, so that you don't be going into different directions, you will not be lost." So when I was trying to correlate, and Swami said, my centers which are approved, I'm talking about which are approved centers of Sathya Sai organizations, Sathya Sai international organizations, affiliated samitis with the organization, these are nothing but the lighthouses. Why? Because the lighthouses, why I call them lighthouses, is they are doing a lot of services and a lot of activities which Swami has guided them and Swami has approved them. So in a physical form, where I'm sure many of the organizational heads, like I can talk about the previous presidents, Mr. Goldstein, or other international, Mr. Reddy Garu now, I'm sure they might have taken the charter of complete international organizations to Swami's lotus feet and get it blessed of each and every Prashanti council centers and everything. That means every center where Swami has blessed with are doing a service, a wonderful jobs where Swami has given directions to them directly. So now it is up to us as a devotees where we should put our rational thought. Do you want to go to the lighthouses which really never ever the battery never goes down, or do you want to go to a torchlight where till the battery is there, after that dies, there is no light, so you're again back to the darkness? So it's up to the viewers, it's up to the devotees, what you want to go, how you want to streamline yourself. If you are in still dark, where to find your lighthouse? Where to find your lighthouse? We already know what are the centers we have, what are the approved centers we have, and where you want to participate yourself voluntarily and then be a part of the mission where Swami has given us. So this kind of a thoughts I was trying to summarize. Why did Swami had shown me that medallion? There isn't anything, because every action of Swami is always had a significance behind that. So then I contemplated and saying that you do have a role to play. So I should say it was my blessing and Swami's guidance. 2011, I was here in Singapore, and all the world students, we were really dejected. We didn't know what to do, and I'm sure every one of us here will reflect back. Our first Prema Bandham was in Singapore 2012, where we had 50 members joining the Prema Bandham of alumni students, and with the connection we all easily established. And I'm sure that Swami has hinted me that you do have a role to play. So you also have been chosen to do something. I think that is what is reflects me. It's my experience why Swami has created in that interview room in 1993 to show that yes, you do have a role to play. So wherever you go, try to be an idol, example where you can show in example as well as follow the actions what Swami's teachings, and try to be something which others can follow and also others can experience. So these lighthouses are very much important in this current situation now. We know very well where to go and how we should come back to our mainstream so that without even going errand. So this is my thought on the lighthouse.
Sai Ram, we could continue on when we talk of Swami. There's so much to speak, and we have not got one diamond today, we've got 5 diamonds. Swami always likes the multitudes, and the very fact that all of you are participating in an organization-led event shows exactly what you spoke, brother. In conclusion, I would like to summarize as follows. All of us are blessed in having him in our lives, guiding us, inspiring us. If we go back to the first message again, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam, the last line says, Omkaaram Baba, Omkaaram Baba, Omkaaram Baba, Om Namo Baba. Swami is Om, the primeval Pranava residing in our heart and in the hearts of the universe. Om didn't have a form. It created a form, came in so that you could relate with it, and has gone back to the formless, leaving behind the resonance in our hearts, which is where he resides. And with these, let me thank all of you for joining on this wonderful Guru Poornima day to share this lovely offering of Guru Vandana. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy this Radio Sai video that is going to be played after this, that signifies all that we have discussed. Sai Ram so much. Looking forward to having more satsangs like these when opportunity provides the same. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Sai.
లౌకిక పథములో మనకు చూపెదరయ్యా తల్లి తండ్రి ఆత్మ విద్యను గరుప గురువుకే సాధ్యము మనకు దొరికెనయ్యా విశ్వగురువు విశ్వగురువు
स्वरूपमेवे गुरु ब्रह्म नीवे परम ज्योति नीवे पादनि सानि द पदनि पद पमगरि गदा पमागग सरि ग पमागरि ग पद सनि द पद गा रि द पमगरि ग पद अवतरिंचितिवि పట్టివాసుడై అవిద్యని తొలగించగా ఆత్మజ్యోతిని వెలుగగ చేసి ఆనందము కలిగించగా ఆత్మజ్యోతిని వెలుగగ చేసి ఆనందము కలిగించగా
మానస భజరే గురు చరణం दुस्तर भवसागर तरणं मानस भजरे गुरुचरणं दुस्तर भवसागर तरणम्
పాఠశాలలో కళాశాలలో ప్రారంభించితివే పాఠశాలలో కళాశాలలో ప్రారంభించితివే లౌకిక విద్యను ఆధ్యాత్మికమును ఏకము చేసితివే లౌకిక విద్యను ఆధ్యాత్మికమును ఏకము చేసితివే గురు బ్రహ్మ నీవే పరం జ్యోతి నీవే గురు బ్రహ్మ నీవే పరం జ్యోతి నీవే దేవాసుల పార కృపతో ఆదరమున చూచెదవు చింతను చేర్చి ఉపదేశించి చేరువ చేసెదవు శీల సంపద ప్రాముఖ్యమును బాలబాలికల గిరిగించి శీల సంపద ప్రాముఖ్యమును బాలబాలికల గిరిగించి సకల జగతిని ఆదర్శముగా సంచరించుమని తెలిపెదవు సకల జగతికి ఆదర్శముగా సంచరించుమని తెలిపెదవు గురు బ్రహ్మ నీవే పరం జ్యోతి నీవే గురు బ్రహ్మ నీవే పరం జ్యోతి నీవే స్వార్థరహితమగు సమాజ సేవా సమున్నతమని పలికెదవు వేద ధర్మమును ప్రబోధించుటే విద్యార్థుల కర్తవ్యమందువు భారతీయ సంస్కృతి వైభవము ప్రకటింపమందువు సత్య సాయి ప్రేమామృతము నిత్యము పంచుచుండు సత్య సాయి ప్రేమామృతము నిత్యము పంచుచుండు
నిగమార్థమును సుగమము చేసే జగద్గురువు నీవు విద్యార్థులకే కాదు ఈ విశ్వమునకే ఆచార్యుడ గురు బ్రహ్మ నీవే పరం జ్యోతి నీవే గురు బ్రహ్మ నీవే పరం జ్యోతి నీవే గురు బ్రహ్మ నీవే పరం జ్యోతి నీవే
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला सुरमुनि वंदित गुणशीला गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथ
राम राम साई राम 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 साई राम भक्ति पुरीश साई राम is my life. My life is my message. Expansion is my life. No reason for love. No reason for love. No birth, no death. दर्श दिखाओ मेरे साई नंद लाला, देवकी नंदन दीन दयाला, मथुरा नाथा मदन गोपाला, साई नारायण सदा कृपाला, दया करो मुझे कृष्ण गोपाला, दया करो मुझे साई गोपाला, दर्श दिखाओ मुझे साई नंद लाला.
O Lord, take my love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. O Lord, take my hands and let them work incessantly for Thee. O Lord, take my soul and let it be merged in one with Thee. O Lord, take my mind and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. O Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to work for Thee. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be Thy name. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. Most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment, Thee alone do we worship, and Thine aid alone we seek. Amen. We pray to God to eradicate all the misery in the world, that understanding triumph over ignorance, that generosity triumph over indifference, that trust triumph over contempt, and that truth triumph over falsehood. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more, and none shall be afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang saranam gacchami dhammang saranam gacchami sanghang saranam gacchami ekam saranam gacchami satyam saranam gacchami एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी से भन गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच सोचे सोच न होवे जय सोची लखवार छुपे छुप न होवे जय लाई रहा लिवतार भूकिया भूख न उतरी जय बन्ना पुरिया पार सहस्याण पालक हो है ता इक न छले नार किव सचियारा होइए किव कूढ़े टूटे पार हुक्म रजाई छलना नानक लिखिया पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
नारायण पुरुषोत्तम गुरु तुम सिद्धभूत तुम संत विनायक सविता पावक तुम सविता पावक तुम ब्रह्ममस तुम यावशक्ति तुम यीशु पिता प्रभु तुम रुद्र विष्णु तुम राम कृष्ण तुम रहीमताओ तुम रहीमताओ तुम वासुदेव ओ विश्वरूप तुम चितानंद हरि तुम अद्वितीय तुम अकाल निर्भय आत्मलिंग शिव तुम आत्मलिंग शिव तुम आत्मलिंग शिव तुम। ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर। ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्परहिता आश्रित कल्परहिता पांडवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदेव मणियन दयुनीरे स्वामी मणियन दयुनीरे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा रागेन्द्र शयन। ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थैष्टार्थ मोक्षप्रधानं बाबा विभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। जय भोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की।